In the middle of the jungle at night, a man was going somewhere in his car. Later, a girl suddenly comes in front of his car, who is very nervous, and starts asking for help from him. The girl's name is Lance. She was covered in blood and tells the man that she is very dangerous. He is after her, he will kill her. And then someone attacks them, and then the man runs away with his car to escape, and takes Lance with him. Then we see a strange man, who was holding an axe in his hand. And he was the dangerous man who was talking to Lance, who was following her. Now, Lance is so scared that she falls unconscious. And when she comes to her senses, she finds a bandage on her eyes. And she gets scared again and starts screaming. Later, the doctor comes to her and tells her that now you are in the hospital, you are in a safe place. So relax, you don't have to be scared. Then he asks her, tell me what happened to you. Then she starts telling her story here. After this, the scene goes on at the same time, from where everything started. Actually, there were 4 friends with Lance who were going on a trip. Now one of their friends was called Lance. On the way, they stop at a gas station, which was quite old. There was a store at this gas station where Lance and his friends go. They see that it is deserted, that is, there is no one there. Now seeing this, Lance feels a little strange. That's why he starts checking the whole place, where he sees all those tapes, on which the date was also written, that which tape is of which day. Meanwhile, the owner of the gas station also comes here, and he gets angry at Lance that how did you come in without permission? You have come from another city, and where are you going now? Lance tells him that my friend and I are going on a trip. Hearing this, that man starts laughing loudly and makes fun of him. You are stupid too, what is there in the trip? You can do this, go to a place to celebrate Halloween, which is called Talon Falls. You will enjoy there. Halloween is actually a festival in which people wear different kinds of strange clothes and put horrible masks on their faces. Hearing this, Lance feels like going to that place, that's why he tells this to his friend too. Then his friend says that I will go, but Lance will not like to go to such places, she finds it strange. But when Lance's friend talks to him about this, then she agrees to go. After this, they immediately go to Talon Falls. The owner of the gas station sees them going. He calls someone and tells them that I have done my work, and now they are coming there. Then when they reach Talon Falls, the guard also calls someone and tells them that they have reached here. Now here in Talon Falls, there was a very big crowd. They were standing in a long line to watch the Halloween show. Later, Lance says to so many people, I am not going inside. You guys go, I will stay in the car. Then all 3 of his friends go inside. Then when Lance was alone in the car, then this strange man was looking at her. After seeing this, she gets scared and comes to her friends. Then the same guard comes to them and says, I think you guys are not from this city but from another city. So, obviously you don't know much about this place, so I can help you. If you look at the line of tickets, it is very long, and it will take you hours. That's why I am giving you special tickets from my side, so that your turn comes quickly and you go inside easily. And now after getting the tickets, they all go inside. Inside there were different kinds of scary jokers who try to scare them, after which they are sent to a cabin, whose name was Death Row, where some strange masked people scare them. Now these 4 reach a place that looked like a jail. There, they see a man who was sitting on an electric chair, and now as soon as Lance switches on, he starts getting electric shocks, and he starts suffering. He was in so much pain that he started screaming for help. These 4 friends thought that this was all part of the game, because according to them, they are all part of this show, who are just trying to make them enjoy and scare them. There were cameras installed everywhere that clearly meant that someone was keeping an eye on them. Now Lance and the other 2 friends thought that this was not a game, but seemed true. So they get scared and stop Lance from doing this. It means that he should not have given him electric shocks, but he was enjoying doing this. He keeps giving him electric shocks. They reach a strange place where they are locked up. Now, these people had found out that they were being watched through cameras, so they look at the camera and say, we don't know who you are, but we haven't harmed you, so get us out of here. Suddenly a window opens, and a girl sees them locked up on a chair. She was also very scared, and she screams with a lot of fear, asking for help. Later, a man comes here who was wearing a mask, and he starts hitting that girl very badly. These 4 still thought that this was part of the show, and they start watching it as a game. Now these 4 move forward, where Lance takes his friend away, and they were separated from Lance and her friend. And they were talking here, but then Lance thinks that someone is watching them. When she tells this to Lance, he goes to check who it is. He finds a room where he and a guard were talking. After this, the man wears his mask, and they both leave. Lance comes to the room and starts checking everything, and he gets some tapes. Apart from this, the whole video of what was happening here was also playing on the TV. In this, Lance sees Lance and his friend. But then a man comes here wearing a mask and attacks both his friends with a hammer and takes them away. Now seeing this, Lance's condition gets worse and he gets very scared. But before he could understand anything, suddenly a man comes from behind him and grabs him. Seeing this, his friend gets scared and starts screaming. so that man also grabs him and takes him away. There, Lance and her friend are locked in different cages with some people. There was a dog outside who was very fast, barking. The man in the other cage knew how to open the lock, but he was scared of the dog outside. He tells them that this dog has been trained very well and has been taught very well, and if anyone tries to run away from here, he will bite him because he eats meat. Then suddenly, a red light turns on, after which, the man in the mask comes here and takes a girl out of the cage and takes her with him. Now the man in the cage says, when the red light turns on, the man in the mask comes here and takes a human with him. And if we all want to save our lives, then we will have to get out of here. Lance's friend says that, earlier all this seemed like a joke or a part of a game. But now, when this happened to us, then I have come to know that the torture we saw with people were all true. Lance's friend asks, why are they doing this? What do they want? You remember we had seen cameras at a nearby place. They were actually making our film. And the torture they were doing to people, their film was also being made. And we don't know why they were doing this. Later, the other man in the mask comes there. Seeing this, Lance's friend starts abusing him and spits on him, but he doesn't say anything and leaves there. The man in the cage says that, if any of you divert this dog, then I can get you all out of here. As soon as Lance shows the bread to the dog and tries to divert him, suddenly the red light turns on again. Then the other man in the mask comes there and takes Lance's friend away from there after making him unconscious. After beating him up, he leaves from there with a chair tied to him. And now, the man in the mask comes here on whom Lance's friend had spit. The man in the mask sharpens the knife and cuts his ear. He opens the window so the people outside can see this torture. Lance's friend is suffering from pain and was asking for help from them. But obviously, they were also considering it a part of the game. That's why they laugh at him. Now the torture gets worse when that man, after beating him up with the axe, one by one, he rubs off all his nails with a sharp object, and now he is in so much pain that he starts to tremble. Lance's friend with the bread distracts the dog and grabs him. Taking advantage of this, that man in the cage frees himself and breaks all the cameras there. But then, the man in the mask comes here and starts fighting with him. They both fight a lot, and in this fight, he takes the keys from the man in the mask and throws them toward Lance. Then she quickly picks up the keys and unlocks the door. She frees herself and her friend from the fight. After this, she attacks the man in the mask and beats him up so much that she falls unconscious. After doing this, both the friends run away from there. The man in the cage also tries to run away from here, but the dog doesn't let him run away and grabs him. He beats him up so much, the man dies on the spot. The man in the mask still tries to torture the woman in the cage. After a while, the way he wanted, he was torturing her, which was hurting her a lot. Lance and her friend try to escape from there, but they see some people in the room who are closing all the tapes in the boxes. It reveals they supply videos of torture to the whole world. They sell them. After this, they get a lot of money and a lot of profit. Now, both friends go to the room where the footage of the cameras and the videos were playing. In the video, they see that Lance's friend is being tortured in different ways. He has been tortured, then they realize that someone is coming there. So, they hide quickly, but by mistake, a tape falls from Lance. She is very scared that now she will die. Then, as soon as the man goes there to check, then someone calls her. He immediately goes to the room with the cage and sees that two girls have run away from here. Both the girls start running away from here, and the masked man is following them with the axe. While running away, these girls come to a butcher's shop, where the meat was kept, and she hides there. But the masked man had already seen them and comes here and attacks them. But they were lucky that somehow she escapes from there, saving her life. Both of them go to the room to escape, where they find Lance, which was placed on the electric chair. A huge amount of current was applied, due to which her body was burned to a large extent. But she was still alive, and seeing his condition, her friend tries to save her. But the masked man sees this and immediately turns on the current switch. Along with Lance, the current hits his friend and she dies. And now, she was only savior and she tries to escape from there. But then, the masked man comes in front of her. And now, as he is about to attack her, to kill her, then her leg slips. Because of this, she falls into a very big pipe, which leads to the death of the corpse, which, when people used to kill people after committing torment, then they were thrown here. The masked man was hitting the corpse one by one and moving them to the side. When Lance starts running away from there, then he follows her. She comes to a place which was being built. This was a construction site. As he is about to kill Lance, then the roof falls on her. Taking advantage of this, she runs away from there and reaches the road. Here, she meets the man who was the one who was going by car. Now, the story comes back to the present time. In the present time, where the doctor tells her that there is no danger now, so don't be afraid. Then, the man in the car comes here and asks Lance, "How are you now?" To which she says, "Yes, I am fine now." Then, the doctor plays music, and she removes the blindfold from her eyes. And now, what she sees, she doesn't believe it. She sees that she is not in a hospital, but she is at the place from where she ran away. And that man was not a doctor, but the man with the mask who used to torture everyone. And along with him, there was another man who was wearing a mask. That means there were two people who were wearing masks. And now he opens the window so that the people standing outside can see this torment. Seeing this, Lance runs away from there and starts screaming and asking for help. Now, these friends were trapped here through some people's plans. That means the person from the gas station intentionally told her to go to the Talent Falls. Lance ran away from there, but that man in the car was with these people. Now, these people used to send the tortured videos to the whole world, especially those who are interested in watching such things. And they were doing all this for a long time, because they used to get a lot of money. The end. Subscribe, you want more videos like this. Bye.